(8:45). This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulmin Samarsinghe and read by Niranjan Abesundara. The government spends billions of rupees to control the COVID pandemic. Airports Council International accredits the Mattala Rajapaksa International Airport. Experts reveal the death of sea turtles and other fish reported recently was due to the burning of the Equus Pearl ship. Sri Lankan author Kanya de Almeida announced the overall winner of the 2021 Commonwealth Short Story Prize. In world news, dozens dead as heatwave shatters records in Canada. Sports news, football linked to 2,000 Scottish COVID cases. The government has spent 262 billion rupees to control the COVID pandemic so far since last year. This was revealed during a progress review meeting of the Finance Minister held today on the patronage of the Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at Temple Trees. Speaking on the occasion, Secretary of the Treasury S.R. Atakala recalled the previous budget was presented by paying 423 billion rupees in arrears that remained in 2019. The government has spent 117 billion rupees in 2020 to control COVID, another 53 billion rupees up to now this year for the purpose. Which articles say that another 92 billion rupees have been spent for vaccination and other expenditure. It is clear the government has approved 11,000 development projects by the Decentralized Fund. Secretary of the State Ministry of Samruddhi Neel Bandar Hapahina said people in all categories who are provided allowances under the Samruddhi Development Department have been given the 5,000 rupee allowance 4 times so far. He said steps have been taken to establish 500 manufacturing villages in the future. Secretary to the State Ministry of Finance and Capital Markets R.M.P. Ratnayaka said they expect to list 500 companies in the stock market by 2024. Central Bank Governor W.D. Lakshman said measures are being taken to pay foreign debt installment without default. The Mattala Rajapaksa International Airport MRIA has been accredited by the Airports Council International ACI Airports Health Accreditation Program. ACI's Airport Health Accreditation Program has assists airports by assessing new health measures and procedures introduced as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic in accordance with International Civil Aviation Organization ICAO Council Aviation Recovery Task Force recommendations for a safe passenger experience at airports. MRIA has proved it's providing a safe airport experience for all travelers which are aligned with recommended health measures established in the SCI Aviation Business Restart and Recovery Guidelines and the ICAO Council Aviation Recovery Task Force recommendations along with the industry best practices. An expert committee appointed by the Marine Environment Protection Authority has revealed the death of sea turtles and other fish reported in recent weeks were due to the environmental damage caused by the burning of the Equus Pearl vessel. Deputy Solicitor General Madhava Tennakon made the remarks when the ministerial inquiry into the fire-ravaged container ship was taken up before the Colombo Additional Magistrate. Deputy Solicitor General Tennakon has admitted to court that a large number of sea turtles creatures, including 136 sea turtles, 20 dolphins and 4 whales, have died so far as a result of the fire that broke out aboard the vessel. The Commonwealth Foundation announced that Sri Lankan author Kanya de Almeida was the overall winner of a 2021 Commonwealth Short Story Prize. De Almeida is the first Sri Lankan to win the overall prize and the second to win from the Asian region. The online award ceremony also featured readings from Sri Lankan actress Ranmali Pathiranamiranchandani. Colombo-based De Almeida was named the winner by British-Jamaican actress Donna Kroll, who presented the online ceremony. 2021 prize was judged by an international panel of writers, each representing one of the 5 regions of the Commonwealth, and chaired by South African writer Zoe Wycombe. Iran has agreed to invest in the Siamalanduwa solar power plant project, which will add 100 megawatts to power to the national grid. This was revealed during a discussion between the State Minister Daminda Dissanayake and the head of political division of the Iranian embassy, Arb Haidara, yesterday. Discussion took place to get technical and financial support to promote renewable energy in Sri Lanka. Pitadari advised the state minister to request the Iranian government to launch a floating solar power plant in the country's tanks and lagoons as a donation of the Iranian government. He informed State Minister Sanayaka that Iran has paid its attention on building 6 small hydropower plants with Sri Lanka state and private entrepreneurs. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Secretary to the Gynecologists Association, Dr. Chaminda Mathura, says vaccines will not cause allergies to pregnant women and the infant. However, he said COVID virus will cause serious complications to pregnant women. Therefore, Dr. Mathura said pregnant women should pay attention on getting the COVID vaccine soon. Meanwhile, Secretary to the Government Medical Officers Association, Dr. Senal Fernandez, said vaccination of the people above 60 years can reduce the death rate by 75%. The hunger strike launched by several death row inmates of the Mahara and Velikata prisons have been called off. Prison spokesman Chandana Ekanayaka said several inmates refused to take food and some of them were protesting on the roof of the building at the Velikata prison requesting death sentence to be commuted to life imprisonment. He said the inmates called off their protests against a hunger strike after discussion with the Ministry Secretary and the Commissioner General of Prisons. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Ministry of Health said 2,481 more coronavirus patients were discharged from medical care within the last 24 hours as they have recovered from the infection. This brings the total number of recoveries from COVID-19 in the country to 28,952. Sri Lanka has also so far reported 257,225 positive cases of COVID-19 and more than 28,000 of them are being treated at hospitals and treatment centers. Death toll from the pandemic stand at 3,030. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
On to Watchlight. Registration of Motor Vehicles Department decided to resume its normal functions at its offices in Narayanpeta and Verahara. However, services will only be available for persons residing within the Western Province. Those who wish to obtain services are requested to make a prior appointment. Department informed appointments can be made by contacting them through telephone number 0112 677 877, 0112 677 877. That is Watchlight. On to world news. Dozens dead as heat wave shatters records in Canada. Australian cities are in lockdown as authorities scramble to prevent the spread of Delta coronavirus variant. Scarlett Johansson's rousing Marvel film impresses critics. Dozens of people have died in Canada amid an unprecedented heat wave that has smashed temperature records. Police in Vancouver area have responded to more than 130 sudden deaths since Friday. Most were elderly or had underlying health conditions, with heat often being contributed to a contribution factor. Canada broke its temperature record for a third straight yesterday, 49.6 Celsius in Lytton, British Columbia. US Northwest had also seen record heights and number of fatalities. 7 Australian cities are in lockdown as authorities scramble to prevent the spread of the highly contagious Delta coronavirus variant. Officials reported a slight case rise today to more than 200 cases. Nearly half of the population, more than 12 million people, are under stay-at-home orders in Sydney, Brisbane, Perth, Darwin, Townsville and the Gold Coast. Outback town of Alice Springs also entered a snap lockdown today after cases emerged in South Australia. Black Widow, the latest Marvel superhero film and the first to focus on Scarlett Johansson's character, has received broadly positive reviews from critics ahead of its release next week. Hollywood Reporter said it was a stellar vehicle for the actress, while Empire said it was a lot of fun. Total Film agreed, calling the film a rousing addendum for the character. Yet the way it treats issues like forced sterilization and sexual exploitation of women has been queried. Back to the headlines of the world news. Dozens dead as heat wave shatters records in Canada. Australian cities are in lockdown as authorities scramble to prevent the spread of Delta coronavirus variant. Scarlett Johansson's rousing Marvel film impresses critics. Development news. Cabinet approval was given to move ahead with the proposed multifunction commercial building project on a 6-acre land plot owned by BCC Lanka Company Limited in Colombo 12. With an estimated investment of 3.2 billion rupees, the proposed 20-story building complex is expected to deliver superior and innovative experience to the law practitioners and startups that are in search for office spaces in Colombo. That is development news. On to sports news. Now, 2,000 COVID cases in Scotland have been linked to people watching Euro 2020 football matches. Public Health Scotland said 2/3 of the 191 cases were people who travelled to London for Scotland's game with England on 18 June. This included 397 fans who were inside Wembley for the match. Canadian fifth seed Bianca Andreescu suffered a first-round defeat in straight sets at Wimbledon, and she was dominated by France's Elise Cornet. World number 58 Cornet produced an impressive display to record a 6-2, 6-1 victory over the 2019 US Open champion. Cornet will meet Australian Agila Tomljanovic or Belgian qualifier Greet Minen in the second round. That was sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The Commercial Bank of Ceylon has once again been named among the global giants in banking, becoming the only Sri Lankan bank to be ranked in the top 1,000 world banks announced annually by the Banker magazine of the UK for the 11th consecutive year in 2021. Commercial Bank said it has reaffirmed its consistency, becoming the Sri Lankan bank to remain for the longest period on the authoritative global ranking published for the 51st year, demonstrating its indomitable spirit and inherent financial strength. That was Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
According to a new World Bank report, South Asia's heavy reliance on state-owned commercial banks, state-owned enterprises, public-private partnerships and other national and sub-national public entities conceals its vulnerability to accumulating unsustainable levels of debt. Reports say South Asia is more exposed to the risk of hidden debt from state-owned commercial banks, state-owned enterprises and public-private partnerships because of its greater reliance on them compared to other regions. That is economic news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Met departments say the showery condition over the southwestern part of the island is expected to slightly enhance tomorrow. Showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamu, northwestern and southern provinces and in the Kandy and Nuwara districts. Fairly heavy showers of 100 millimeters can be expected some places in the western, Sabaragamu and southern provinces and in the Nuwara district. Short showers may occur at a few places in the U and eastern provinces and the Mullaitivu district in the evening or night. That was the weather report.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Back to the headlines of the news. Government spends billions of rupees to control the COVID pandemic. Airports Council International accredits Matla Rajapaksa International Airport. Experts reveal the death of sea turtles and other fish reported recently were due to the burning of the Express Pearl ship. Sri Lankan author Kanya de Almeida announced overall winner of the 2021 Commonwealth Short Story Prize. In world news, dozens dead as heatwave shatters records in Canada. Sports news, football linked to 2,000 Scottish COVID cases. That ends the news tonight.